Welcome to an Oasis podcast. In our eighth episode, I mean, it's crazy. We've actually got to 8 episodes this year from almost a year of Team Oasis podcast now. We started in May, I think it's April or something like that. And now, on our eighth episode, we meet a very talented COD player. Introducing Cebzey.
Cebzey.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm Cebzey. Uh, I've been playing COD for like 6 years now. I was playing Comp 4 for a while, and then I ended up coming back to COD during Vanguard. Um, I uh, I like sports a lot. I'm in the United States Army, and
Mhm.
yeah, that's about it about me.
So tell us, how did you get started as a COD player?
Uh, Honestly, I always looked up to like FaZe, Optic, and like when the CWL stuff was going on during like BO2 and stuff like that. And then I kind of started like watching them a lot, and then I started like trick shotting and stuff like that in MW2 when I was just a kid, and then kind of like from there I started like playing like GBs and stuff like that, and I think BO3 is when I really started getting like crazy into COD. And then like Advanced Warfare, I started playing a lot too, and like it kind of just evolved from there. I took a decently long break between like BO4 and came back during Cold War, like sniping, and then and Vanguard ended up getting back into like playing comp and stuff.
Hmm. So we've heard a bit about the COD. Let's go back to the roots. How did you get into gaming?
Oh, I honestly, it was like something I'd casually do. I remember like playing Warhawk and stuff like that with my like on my dad's PS3 and stuff like that when I was younger, but even on like the PS2, me and my brother used to play like GoldenEye or something like it's like 007, and we used to play that together. And he was like, I think he was like 12 or something, and I was like 7. And I
Hmm.
was like kind of beating him a lot, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then it kind of just evolved from there. I started playing like Call of Duty 2,
Right.
like just the campaign based CODs,
Hmm.
and then I ended up playing like World at War and stuff like that, and like the Xbox
Hmm.
360, and then I was like, this is fun. And then I kind of like just started getting more into it, getting more into like setups, getting more into comp, and because it really interested me.
So it sounds like you're a very long-term COD fan.
Oh yeah, for sure. I uh
Hmm.
I used to be like a really big fan of like Optic. I was a really big fan of, and like I said,
Ooh,
FaZe previously. Actually, in BO3 when like I first started getting
question,
really into comp. Yeah.
question. What's
Yep.
your favorite COD team? Like
Currently,
COD League? Yeah.
okay, so currently I'd probably say Seattle Surge.
Hmm.
I just really like their players, like Accuracy, Mac, and like
Hmm.
Pred and Sib. So I really like currently because there are a lot more COD teams getting out there because like
Yeah.
before like the big ones were strictly like Optic and Phase, and like they had Red, but that was strictly like sniping and stuff. So I mean that's like I don't know. It's kind of cool like seeing how far like COD scene's actually grown in the past few years. So
Of course. It is crazy. Sadly though, what do you think about the COD League? Do you think it should be more accessible to more teams? Or yeah.
I I think the way they kind of used to have it compared to the way it is now. I remember like more back then you were seeing a lot like less known teams playing it like Mazer Gaming. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of them, but they
No.
like they're playing like in CWL Vegas and stuff like that against these pro teams. And I think as like time went on, like a lot of these teams that were smaller weren't able to like compete with these bigger like
Hmm.
organizations because they had more to offer. So and I think like it's kind of a good thing that like the CDL kind of chalked it down to, all right, we got these specific teams. They are the ones who actually have been able to compete and put on the best show. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah.
Now, like a lot of these challenger players, like Scrap, uh, Beans, who just got picked up, and then like there are a whole bunch of people who play for teams and like challengers and stuff like that who get scouted by these bigger teams. So it kind of like still keeps the door open to the like challenger players and like
Hmm.
these other people who are playing in these teams, and like these other teams, like these smaller teams, are still able to compete
Yeah.
at lands, like online leagues and stuff like that. So like I guess like the COD scene itself, like doors open, but I mean CDL, like I think the way they're running it's like okay.
Yeah. But do you think that there should be more amateur tournaments available for COD scene? Because there are, from what from a outside perspective, it doesn't look like there's many tournaments available to more teams trying to get into that scene. I feel like it's a very hard game to get into.
Right, and honestly, like, I would say like, publicize, it's not like, something a lot of people see, but, like, based on their state, like, I know I'm from Ohio, and
Hmm.
they hold a lot of lands, like, twice a week for COD
Oh,
teams,
cool.
like, 40 minutes from me. And
Hmm.
then, in, like, Columbus, they hold them, and in PA, they hold them. Like, so I think, like, people locally, like, know, but, like,
Right.
I know, like, there's a big venue in Michigan that holds, like, some really big lands down there, and then, like, the door is open for, like, us to go compete in, like, challengers and, like, the CDL events, like, the majors they have. When they're actually at the venue, if, like not even if you're a part of a funded team or not, like, you could get a team pass and you could compete there, and, like,
Cool.
so
Hmm. That sounds really good, to be honest. How many lands have you been to?
I've been to 4.
Okay.
I've won
Tell
3.
me about them.
I mean, it's a cool environment, there's a lot of toxic people in the community.
It is
You go
COD
to 'em,
after all. Yeah.
you're right,
COD lobby
yeah,
is one infamous.
but no, yeah, but I mean, it's honestly, like, it's a good vibe and it feels nice, like,
Hmm.
being able to compete, and, like, you feel like you're actually kinda doing something with, like, your career there of
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, like, nowadays, like, the parents and stuff like that, because things were different for them, like, they didn't have this kinda thing, it's either like, oh,
Mm,
like, playing sports and stuff like that, but, like, esports
yeah.
has grown so much, and there's a lot of doors open to a lot of different people now.
True. I do think esports does get a bad name sometimes,
Yeah,
but I do
because a lot
think
of
it
people
is changing though.
sorry.
I do think a lot of opportunities are available. Like you can get a degree in college nowadays with esports,
Right. Yeah,
so
seen
it's
that.
quite nice to see. I'm speaking about esports. Tell us about your esports history. Like, tell us about your teams you've been on.
Ugh. Dude, I've been in a crazy amount of teams. I've been
Hmm.
contracted to a few. Um, Actually, I was Mazer, who I was telling you about before. I was on like an under league they had, or an under team they had for because I was under the age 18 playing. They had like a kind of like a Bantam team, or
Right.
whatever you'd like to call it. Like of people who could learn. I talked to Teddy Rex, who's a professional COD player. Um, and he taught me a little bit about COD.
Ooh.
But I I think the first
For
joint
the
like team I yep,
wait, for the
yeah.
viewers who don't know this person, including me as well, who is this Teddy person?
So Teddy Rex, he was a professional player for Mazer for a while. He ended up getting
Right.
picked up by I forget who he got picked up by, but it was a really good team, and he kind of started like making it. I believe he's 25 now. He did retire, I believe. He played for Lethal for a while. After he got like after he got signed or dropped from Mazer. And then he actually played for Seattle Surge, the team I'm a fan of now, and
Ooh.
like yeah, in December 2019 to like I believe 2020.
Hmm.
So because I started playing for Mazer as like an under league player in
Yeah.
2018. Now he did end up leaving them like after their season.
Mm-hmm.
So but
I'm a big fan of that name, Seattle Surge. I do like their
yeah,
branding as well. The green and the blue is very clean. I can't
right.
lie.
Yeah,
Drown
they're
them out, Drown them out.
it does. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So, and you've told me in the past, what's it called, that you've built an esports team.
Yeah, so my team was
Tell me how
called
it
Banish.
began. Yeah.
Yeah, so I am like, I own a restoration company now and stuff like that. I've always like, I guess, kind of enjoyed being like the leader of stuff. I was a
Mm-hmm.
captain like for my football team. I played football for 12 years. I was a
Cool.
captain of my wrestling team. I wrestled for 12 years, and like so like I've always like kind of had like that, I guess, leadership mentality. And like I was in a lot of teams as just a player, and there's always things happening that I had no control over. And then I was like, well, I'm just gonna bring my talents to this team, and the team was doing really good. It was a co-ownership, and we
Right.
were averaging like we were having really good support. We grew really well on Twitter for like 2 weeks. We were averaging like 300 to 500 likes a tweet. Like we were
Mm-hmm.
doing real good, and the owner ended up kind of yanking the account and blocked me on everything, and then
Oh,
I kind of
yikes.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's one of those things of what could you do, So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
unfortunately,
So tell me the whole history of the team. How long was that going for again?
it
How
was
long did you run
going
it for?
for a few months. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not 100% sure, like the exact time frame, but I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
say like 4 or 5 months.
And what teams were going on?
What do you mean?
Like, what teams did you have? Like, what esports teams?
Okay, yeah, so we had Rocket League, we had Fortnite, we had COD,
Okay.
we had Valorant wasn't a thing yet, so
Yeah, yeah.
those are like the main things we were doing, and then we had obviously like content
Mm.
creators and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
so
I've heard you've also dived a bit into Fortnite as well, like as a
yeah, I did.
player.
Yeah, so I was playing for a little while, and
Mm-hmm.
then I started realizing like the amount of people who are playing for it, and I guess how much like luck based the game actually is, and like, oh, you
Yeah.
got better internet, you got better this,
Mm.
better that you're gonna play like better, and I feel like the you have to have the best of the best to be able to compete in that community. So
Yeah, of course. And what's it called? So with your whole team, what was your team called again?
Banish. Sorry.
Banish. Right. Right. Because you told me it was going very well. So what caused the whole drama?
There wasn't even any drama, man.
Oh.
The dude literally just out of nowhere just up and yanked the account. So
Hmm. Fair enough.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what could he do? But
Mm-hmm. Random question though. I noticed you have
yeah,
Astro Gaming headset.
yep.
I'm a big fan of Astro myself. I've got A30s.
Okay,
The A40s, good headset.
they
Sure you
are.
think the
Yeah,
same. Yeah.
yeah,
They're
they
used by a
are.
lot of COD players. We can tell you're
They
a COD
are,
player.
and that's actually like I seen them a
Why
lot.
so, by
And,
the way? Why
what's
so?
that?
Why do a lot of COD players choose that headset?
I think honestly, like the mix amp systems that they have, that like, I mean, you could buy. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
one connected now. And then I know like right now I think they're using Razer, and I think it's because of like the sponsorships they have with them. So like every
Razer.
year, yeah, they're using Razer headsets now.
Oh.
So like
I'm
this.
not a big fan of Razer, to be honest.
Yeah, so well, I mean, I know like it kind of seems like it's like I know I seen a team using a Steel Series and stuff like that.
Mm,
So I think it's individually like the team sponsor,
right.
like they're gonna rep them and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite hard normally to rock Astro Gaming nowadays since they
right,
were bought by Logitech. Before it was just the headset company.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
it's yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of which reminds me, what are 5 sponsors?
What's that?
What are 5 dream sponsors of yours?
Oh man. G Fuel would be pretty cool. Control
Mhm.
Freak, Scuff, because I mean like that's what
Ooh.
I use. Yeah.
Mhm.
So uh,
Right.
yeah. Honest Oakley would be pretty cool. Um, and honestly, I believe that's it. Like Steel Series or like Astro would be pretty cool too.
Yeah. Okay. So mostly gaming brands in a
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
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 And what do you have in store for the future?
So
Any
I
plans?
so I plan on like I said, signing with a new like funded con team who will
Mhm.
cover me to go to
Yeah.
lands and stuff like that. That's currently getting worked on. But I mean, other than that, I'd like to get more into content creation, and like streaming on Twitch and like uploading on
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff like that. Like I'd like to post like a setup tour on my setup and stuff
Mm.
like that, and like get more involved with that. Because I've kind of stayed away from that scene now. I uploaded a lot to Twitter and stuff like that, like clips and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, like I said, I just would like to grow more in the community more than I already have. So
Mhm. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
And on the subject of streaming, so kick.com. What do you think of
yeah.
Kick?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard some crazy things about Kick, so
Mm.
I'm not really. I know there are a few people who are like trying to switch over because of like the monetization and stuff like that that they're
Are
getting on
you?
Twitch. I am not. No, yeah, I've heard some crazy things about
Are you
it.
going to reserve your handle?
No,
Don't want Cebzey on Kick. Just in case you change your mind. Probably a
right.
good idea.
Yeah, I know I have it on Twitch, but I
Mhm.
like I said, I mean, I know like my girlfriend, she used to do a lot of stuff on Kick, and then like she just told me some crazy things, and I've just been hearing about it a lot.
Right.
So
Like what?
just like I guess the more inappropriate things that kind of happen on there, uh, that like
Oh, because of the lack of
the
moderation.
lack of right,
Yeah, yeah.
because like they really don't seem to care,
Mhm.
to be honest. So
Yeah. So, like, what happens on there most of the time? Because, like, you can stay on the whole podcast. It's not like.
right, yeah. No, I guess there's a like like Omegle. It's
Mhm.
kind of like some weird shit like that happens on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, like a lot of sexual stuff and stuff like that. That like there are kids who are gonna
Mm,
like make these accounts and then
yeah.
they're just gonna be seeing some shit they shouldn't really be seeing, I guess. So
Mhm. Do you think it's sustainable?
I don't know. I mean, if they get like some more moderators on it, yeah.
Yeah.
But
In
till
terms of
then, I
like
guess
money, though, do you think it can like live on?
as in like
Like, as a, will it like stay around for as long as Twitch or YouTube or
I don't think it'll end up. But yeah, I don't think it'll end up getting big. I mean, I know Kick's been out for a really long time. Uh, I mean, but like it hasn't
has
ever
it
really grown. Yeah, Kick's been out for a while, dude. Like since I
really?
was a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
never knew that. I thought it's been
Yeah.
around like I thought it was new. Oh,
No.
I thought Trainwreck created it. Oh,
No. Yeah, it came out in 2010. That's what I'm looking at here.
wow.
Yeah. So, and that's what I mean. Like it hasn't like done
Hmm.
anything. So,
Well, hopefully Trainwreck can pull it around. Yeah, you know who
right.
Trainwreck is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. So,
Yeah. So
as a
it's
COD
actually
player,
yeah, what's up?
what advice would you give to like people wanting to start out in the esports scene, of
Honestly,
course?
like I think the biggest thing is like don't try comparing yourself to a pro. Now, like, I know, like, a lot of times, like, you'll watch these pros play, and then you'll be like, "Why can't I do that?" You know, and these guys are putting in, like, 12 to 15 hours a day
Mm-hmm.
grinding the game, you know, these guys are playing with these guys who have, like, crazy chemistry together, who have been playing together for
Yeah.
years, so you know what? These guys are going to be, I guess, more ready than what you
Mm-hmm.
like you I mean, more ready than I obviously am, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and, you know, they're sitting in LA, right? So, I mean, and I think a lot of people, like, compare themselves to pros and then, like, just get discouraged. Now you could look up to them and you could try playing like them, like, I do that, like, I thought what the pros do, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, I could do this better." Like, you could compare yourself on that aspect, but don't get discouraged because they're better than you, but you could try to be better than them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And would you recommend any like peripherals?
As for, like,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
game,
Mm-hmm.
as, like, settings and stuff,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, don't, like I know, like, Warzone and stuff like that, like, the
Mm-hmm.
FOV is, like, really big, like, so, like, people play, like, 120 and stuff like that. Now, I know, like, 10 F but after 110, your FOV actually you
Right.
start getting less aim assist pull. Now, like, don't like I said, dude, like, and sensitivities and stuff like that, like, don't be like, "Oh, everybody's using 6.6, let me use 6.6." Like, do what works better for you and what, like, will benefit you the most.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like,
So
feel what
is there
feels
like a
good to
guide
you.
to it? Is there like a guide to finding out your sense?
I mean, they have, like, a lot of YouTube videos and stuff on it, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, I know every time I get on, right, like, I'll go in and
Yeah.
I'll put, like, the score limit on 200 and I'll start shooting bots for a while, like, just to get my hands warm and stuff like that and, like, you know, make sure I'm not going in and playing bad.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
And do you have like a training schedule, like a warm up schedule for COD games?
uh, so usually I'll wake up, um, sometimes go to the gym depending at, like, 5:50 in the morning. It's usually, like,
Mm-hmm.
when I'll wake up when I go to the gym, but
Cool.
like, as, like, a normal day, I guess, I would go, wake up, like, make breakfast or, you know, eat something, and then, like,
Yeah.
I would I don't like, hopping on, like, the second I wake up, like, I'd like to, you know, be able to wake up and, like, not just sit here and play a game all day, so around, like, 11 o'clock AM, I'll get on, I'll, like, shoot bots for, like, 30 minutes or something and, like, you know, be like, "Oh, I could do this better," like, focus more on, like, my centering and, like,
Mm.
recoil control and stuff like that, and then I'll end up, like, going in and then I'll, like, 4 stack with, a few of the other people I play comp with and, like, we'll play ranked or
Do
something,
you
and
use
then
any
we'll run scrims
third
and stuff.
party aim trainers?
No. Nope.
I generally recommend Kovacs. It's a very good aim trainer for practicing aim.
Y Yeah, so I know Kovacs is, like, big for, KBM aim, but I know it's not, like, crazy for controller aim, from my
Oh, true. I
understanding.
forgot. I keep forgetting your controller,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Because actually so
Mm.
in the comp COD scene, you cannot play or you cannot play keyboard.
Really?
Yep.
That's a very interesting esport. So most
Yeah,
esports require you to
so
play keyboard to
and I
have the
think that's why
edge.
it was, yeah, so and that's the thing is I don't think they want people to have, like, the edge. Now a lot of these people are,
Mm.
zenning using, like, Chronuses so they could
Oh,
get rid of the
yeah.
recoil and, like actually, Call of Duty's having such a crazy thing with hacking right now where,
Ooh.
like, all these people are walling and using aimbot and stuff like
I thought
that,
they fixed
so
that.
dude, it's horrible. It is
Oh.
so bad. It is, like, once every 3 games you run into a hacker, it seems like. So I'm actually personally hoping that COD goes back to console.
Mm-hmm.
Uh So that stuff's, like, done. Now these people could still Zen because they could program it on a laptop and still put it into, like, their PlayStation or Xbox or whatever, but, you know, it'd get rid of these people walling at least and stuff like that. And I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, it's kinda like their loss because 'cause they're not gonna actually be able to do anything with the game, they're just gonna go into ranked
Right.
play and cheat, so, you know, but
Mm-hmm. So, any other games you want to like invest your time in?
Uh,
Like Apex, Valorant?
right. So I play Apex a little bit.
Oh, cool.
I played Val for like a week, and then I was like, yeah, this
Hmm.
is I don't know, man. It's just games like I just don't like it. Like I like CS:GO more personally.
That's fair enough.
But like I mean, playing competitively, I guess there's not really another game I plan on playing. I like playing a game
Hmm.
called Squad, which
Yeah.
is like a more like a milsim kind of game. Um, and then like Hunter Call the Wild, and
Hmm.
like Green Hell, which is a survival game.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to gonna buy the Sons of the Forest that just came out
That's
for
quite popular.
like early release.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen any footage, but I know I've seen it trending
really.
on Twitch quite a few times. What's it about?
So it's the original Forest. I'm not sure if you ever seen that, but it's like a you're on a plane and like the plane crashes on an
Hmm.
island like where it has like these inbred cannibals pretty much. Uh
Damn.
and they like kidnap your kid and like people on the plane like are dead or whatnot and they and then you could like you go try finding like the survivors and then like you find your kid and then like all this stuff. It's actually pretty fun because like you get to like build a house and stuff like that on it and
Is
you
it
survive
multiplayer?
these days. Yeah, it is. So actually me and my brother we beat the
Mm.
first forest a few times, but
I thought it was a
it's a
battle
fun
royale or
game, yeah.
something.
No, no, yeah, it's
Mm. Fair enough. Yeah, I was expecting it to be something like Rust, my opinion.
yeah, no. Nope. Uh
Okay.
yeah, Rust is a fun game though. Just to screw around on that a
I've never
lot.
played it, but
Yeah,
I just know how good it is.
yeah, I wouldn't like I never took it serious. I literally just run around with a pumpkin on my head screwing with people. But
The bears are scary, man, in that game.
what's that?
The bears.
I've never seen bears in that game, so
Really?
oh wait, never mind. I have. I died to him. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned Valorant. Speaking of Valorant, I know you're on a team that currently runs Valorant. What is your opinion on Bandits Esports and like your experience being a part of them?
I honestly, I mean, I think
First of all, how did you join Bandits?
I I believe what was it through you? Yeah, no, so it's actually my old Fortnite duo. They
Hmm.
originally joined you guys, and then
Yeah.
he wanted to bring me on with him so he could represent you
Hmm.
guys as a duo. And then we ended up he ended up leaving or getting kicked after we switched back to COD. And then you ended up keeping me on as a manager for
Yeah.
previous things that happened. Uh,
Hmm.
and then I mean, but I don't know. I mean, Bandits isn't like I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna say it's a bad team. I know that you have left like 2 weeks ago or something
Mm.
like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff that has happened in that team.
Hmm.
There's a lot of toxicity in it for sure.
That's true. That's true. I don't want to chat
They're
shit, but
yep,
this is why I kind of left. It just got too much, in my
right.
opinion. I'm not gonna like chat shit about the team all the time, right? But at the end of the day, right, I'm not gonna spend like over £400 on a team, right? You know, if it's just that toxic, you know what I mean? I know they got rid of quite a few of the toxic members. What's it called? There was someone on there called Spooky or something, right? I wasn't a fan of that person. Not a big fan.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
yeah. Um,
I mean, you know why, but
like they generally just like as soon as they find someone they don't like, they just gang up on someone in the group chat. Like all of them did. And then the fake
could
hacker
be.
shit man was a bit weird as well. That
Yeah,
was quite funny though. The Riddler scene, man. It was like the Riddler, the Batman man. That was
right.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, because when all that fake hacker stuff was going on or
Mm,
whatnot, they, and I told them to kind of relax. They all kind of hopped on my head a little bit. So,
yeah,
but I mean, the way I look at it is, there's a place for everybody to be.
of
I
course.
mean, I just feel like I feel like the mindset like you have if you can't take somebody like if you can't be civilized to somebody just because they're
Mm.
uncivilized to you doesn't mean like
If you can't be
should
civilized, then
just
you shouldn't be on an esports team.
right. And honestly, like I feel like in general though in life, like if you can't take something on the chin and just keep moving a little
Yeah,
bit, like it's you're not gonna progress in your life, honestly.
exactly.
And like
Mm.
so, but I mean, I guess that's just a personal opinion. Like you know,
No, I generally agree. I do
like
think there's a
I
lot of
mean,
people, right, who just attack people, right, just because they can. They're so butthurt,
right.
right, but they just
And
go
just
after
because
you.
they like, I mean, as you've seen, like I had a different opinion than them, and they're bashed me for
Mm.
that. So
Yeah.
and I mean, like I will talk shit to people who will
Mhm.
say something to me. I mean, and honestly, not even because I'm mad, just because it's honestly a little funny that
Mm.
they they're that upset. To be honest,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
now like I think there's times like where you could say things to somebody and like just leave it at that, but there's uh a thing like
Yeah.
where people just take
Mhm.
just take it on the chin a little bit,
Mm.
but
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I
I
didn't
don't know.
really enjoy running the team as much as I did running Blue Skirmish. I'm sure you've heard of Blue Skirmish a little
Uh-huh.
bit. Um, because the people I work with are more mature than the bandits people. That's not me being rude, but it's just like a lot of the
Right.
times there was things that was just over the top. People took
Right.
things too far.
Yeah, and I think people
And
just need to like stop being so sensitive, to be honest, man.
it's true. It's true, man. It's easier said than done, of course, for most people.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately.
Because most people have to go through something, right, to, change, of course.
Right.
Takes time. But another reason was bandits to me, it didn't feel like my own team. It never I felt like I was running someone else's team for them. Because I had control. I was putting the money in right. But at the end of the day, there's still it's a really weird ownership dynamic because they
Yeah.
call themselves a company, but they're not actually a company.
Right.
So they're not
Yeah.
registered, right? And what's it
Right.
called? They say they have stocks, right? But they don't. You can't have stocks, right? If you're a, pri- private company, let alone, not even a company at all. And there's more than two owners in that team, but you just don't know. So there's actually Domino actually owns a bit of Bandits himself.
Domino does.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. I'm not chatting
Interesting.
shit, right? But I do think, right, I'd rather him be honest, about him owning the team. Because
Right.
when I joined, I had no idea until he said.
Really
That, yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And what's it
Yeah, I
called?
think
Another
my
thing that I didn't like, right? What's it called? Was the what's it called? The move away from Maine Marauders. Did you see that? They like full on
no.
shut down the Twitter account. I had to claim it back. I logged back into it
Yeah.
using the same password, and I got it back on my phone. And I was like, well, if you don't want it, I'll take it back. Just don't
Right.
delete
Yeah.
it.
And honestly, like I think my time there is gonna be coming up to an end anyway, so I'm not like
Hmm.
too worried about it.
Yeah. Like I generally don't hate the team. Anyone
Right.
who is in 2 a.m. also, not 2 a.m. That's a bad team as well. Well, not as well, but that's a bad team. 2 a.m. Esports, a really bad team. But anyway, Bandits. It's not a bad team, right? It's just what's it called? It's just it's got a lot of things that they need to fix, and I do think
Yeah,
they can
a lot.
improve. They can improve it though. I'm not gonna chat shit because there's so many good things about Bandits. They've got a full Valorant team full of amazing players now. Like they replaced the whole roster, and these guys are pretty good. Um, Varney, he's a really nice guy. Not sure if you met him before, but yeah. He's pretty chill. Um, what's it called? X09. He's an alright when it comes to like making banners and stuff. He's pretty chill. I'm sure you've met him.
They our chat has not been active in 3 days. So
Who? Bandits chat.
the Bandits chat, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's not good.
no.
But yeah, what's it called? What's the what's the thing? The jerseys. The jerseys. Have you seen the jerseys? I saw the baseball jersey because I still have access to the email technically
Right.
because I created the email.
Mhm.
I don't like what's it called message or anything. I just like to watch.
Mhm.
It's interesting, It's interesting to see what they're gonna do with it.
Right.
Like I've returned everything. All ownership is to them. But some of the jerseys are so good. Like the baseball jersey, um, Armor have designed is insane. Okay, like the color gradient, it's like this gray to black color gradient. I'm not sure if you've seen the white Bandits jersey they're also making,
I have not.
but
Like I
it's
said, I mean,
really good.
honestly, like probably this week I'll be heading out of there.
Hmm.
I'm still in the process of
Yeah.
because that I'm going to actually be the captain of that team that I was previously talking to you about. So
Hmm.
I
Tell me a
have
bit about that team. What's the team
yeah,
called?
so it's TBZ1 is
Hmm.
kind of like I guess what they go under, but they're they're like a sub name they go under. I'm not too sure. I could let you know in just a moment here for me.
And just for Poster, by the way, if Poster was watching this, I respect Poster. Okay, it's just
Yeah.
the people before,
Right.
you know, of course.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, there's like honestly, I don't even really mind like anybody in the team. The people I
Hmm.
didn't like and the ones who ended up getting kicked
Yeah.
or ended up leaving. So I mean, honestly, like generally that I don't really care too much about.
Hmm.
Now I know there's some like there's just so much crazy stuff that's always happening. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
TBZ1.
TBZ1.
Or as Aztec. Yeah, Aztec.
Ooh, I like those names, man. I like the branding. That's cool. Aztec.
Yeah. Yep. So and they have a few golds.
Hmm.
They've played at challenger events
Yeah.
previously, so but
Okay. It's cool.
yep.
I look forward to seeing you on the playing field.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Hmm. Hopefully, at LAN.
That
Yeah. But yeah, with the that Maine Marauders account, I have recovered it, and I have changed the app. By the way, I've kept the logo the same, but
did you?
I'm keeping the team right for when I
Hmm?
come back to esports
Okay.
because I do want to come back, but not for maybe 2 years.
All right.
It's gonna be quite a while because I
Right.
want to like set up my other brands I'm working on because it's just more cost effective to work on them right now.
That's fair.
Yeah. Also, telling me about your business. That's quite interesting.
Yeah,
Also,
so
your screen's quite bright, by the way. It's kind of messing with your webcam.
what was it? I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you. Is that better?
Mhm.
Should be. Okay. So yeah, it's a water restoration company. If people have like water line breaks or anything like that, we go in and we restore their house, which
Oh,
that
that's
could
cool.
entail
Yeah.
having to run fans and dehumidifiers or
Mhm.
us having to completely tear their house apart. We're doing
Yeah.
quite well to start the year off. We've worked for different insurance companies. We do water restoration, like sewage cleanups and restoration, pressure washing, interior demolition, and it's just like I guess stuff like that. We do mold
Mm.
remediation, cleaning up like mold spores and stuff like that. So
So you
uh,
like self-employed,
yeah,
basically.
yep. Yep.
It's cool. It's nice
I
to have a
haven't worked
trade.
in yeah, I haven't worked in 2 months actually, and I still have a few grand. So
Damn. That's
yep,
pretty good,
made
man. You must be making
yeah.
a decent amount of money.
I believe this year. So far, 34,000.
That's
So,
amazing. And you're quite
yeah.
young as well, aren't you? How
Yeah,
old are you?
19. 19.
That's impressive, man. That is really
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, I started this business when I was 17 and still in high school.
Mhm.
Um, I was cleaning. Actually, I was cleaning sewage. My dad, he owns a plumbing business, and I
Yeah.
was cleaning. I kind of motivated me. A lot of the jobs, like I would kind of ride with them and help them with. They nobody would be there to like clean up the mess or anything like after the plumbers left. So I was like, hey, like kind of like a light bulb moment, and I my first job, I cleaned out the hose and squeegees, and then like dumped a whole bunch of disinfectant on the basement floor, and then I started getting more like interested, and then
Mhm.
like I started buying like more supplies and like all this stuff, and then I was like, whoa, like this is cool. Now when I was away for the army the second time around here for myself in September, I right before I graduated the school I was at, they ended up getting a like new machine, and then I ended up doing more with my van, and then I ended up getting some more fans, and
Mm.
then like starting getting more into that. I'm in the middle of getting my certification actually in water restoration, which I will hopefully have like this week or next week. So
Yeah.
actually in an hour I gotta go do an estimate for somebody, but so it's a cool thing to get into for sure. And it
Mm.
does a lot,
Yeah.
it's neat.
What would your advice be for people trying to get into a trade?
Just go for it. Now I'm not somebody who I just don't want to work for anybody, and I've always been like that since I was a kid. I've always been like
Mm.
very, I guess, self-motivated
Respect that.
for my own success instead of somebody else's success.
Yeah.
Now I know a lot of people aren't like that. I know a lot of people like are like, oh, I'm content, and I'm not one of those people who are content. Uh,
Mhm.
Now as far as people getting into the trades, like my brother, he did
Right.
construction at a trade school and stuff like that. But I mean, I would say like if something interests you, dude, just go for it, to be honest. Like the only thing that's gonna stop you is yourself at the end of the day. And there are gonna be people who might love you who, think it's in your best interest and are gonna tell you to, pursue something else but
Yeah.
honestly, the best thing I could say is just ignore them
Of course,
and
because you're gonna
take
regret
it
it
on the chin
in the end.
because when you are at that age and you're 30 years old and you're like, "What am I doing?"
Mhm.
And, you know,
Exactly.
you're like, "I had interest in this thing and you guys shot it down." And then you're just gonna have like not like a hatred, but like a little bit of like a despise of like this person really, just didn't support me when I really needed it and when I was really
Yeah.
interested in
Yeah.
something. And honestly, like my dad, he's kind of one of those guys who are kind of like that, unfortunately. Um I mean, I love him to death, but he is just one of those people. Now
Mhm.
my mom, she's completely different. If I'm really interested in something, she's like, "Go for it,"
Right.
like I support you. Now, I know like I feel like more people who are like my dad out there who are just because it is
Mhm.
something that they couldn't pursue
Yeah.
and don't think they could have pursued, they don't think you can. And
Mm.
like same for esports. Like if you guys are seriously like so interested in this, go for it, dude. Give it your all. Like try your best, and then whenever you think you absolutely have to give it up and you've given it your all, like your 100%, then give it up. Go find something else because there's all at the end of the day there's always going to be something there for you to fall
Yeah.
back on. And there's always going to be things that you're going to have a passion for it, something you're going to fall in love with. Just don't give up on stuff that you enjoy,
Mhm.
truthfully.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna end up making you hate yourself and what you do every day. I promise you.
I do think it's important to burn the boat sometimes and not have a backup option. It's always good to have one, like an idea
Right.
of one, but sometimes it's good to sacrifice stuff and just go all in, you know, put the
Right.
cards on the
Yeah.
table. Rather
Right.
than being like, do I really want to dip my foot in the water? If you don't, you never know. Like,
Right.
99% of businesses fail, right? Of course, right? You're not gonna normally nail it first time. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes people do. Um, but normally, right, out of quite a few ideas, right, there's one idea after you've kept trying, It just sticks. You know, that's the power of
Right.
never
And
giving up.
I started this thing off, as like my company itself is something like not something I was going to pursue for like my life. I was just doing it to get some extra money. And then I realized like
Hmm.
I'm a very clean guy.
Right.
Like I just like being clean and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
you know, seeing like the transformations of these people's houses and like basements that I was doing, like how clean they ended up becoming
Yeah.
after, I would go there and clean it up. I was like, dude, this is cool. I was like, actually I enjoy this like truthfully. And then it's kind of one thing led to another. I started getting into pressure
Mm.
washing because I bought a pressure washer, and then I was like, oh, all right, like, well, now I could get into water restoration because that's where more money is, and that's where like these insurance companies are going to pay me. And then I got my first $20,000 restoration job in January, like for Liberty Mutual. And then I was like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, holy shit, like I just bought a truck outright in cash. Like, and it was like
Damn.
a
Outright.
reasonably, yeah, and it was a reasonably expensive truck. Like, so and
Hmm.
I'm like sitting here and I'm like, dude, like, no, I just made more in this month
Yeah.
that some of these people are gonna make in their whole year. And I'm
Hmm.
like, because I was self motivated to do it.
To clock onto
That
that, by the way, I
Yeah,
do think there's a lot of parents, right, that force children to go into more higher education when they don't need to. Like normally it's quite pointless. Like, oh, in the UK we have university, but I know over there it's college,
college, yeah,
right? So for this we're gonna say university, of course, because it's just easier. But you
right,
know, sometimes it's important to like choose a trade. Like doing an internship or an apprenticeship is often better, right, for you because working sometimes, right, you're gonna learn way more. You know, than some random teacher, just telling you something right. And you haven't spent half as much time, doing that thing right. Because most teachers, right, don't know anything, to be honest, right? Like, in the trade, of course, they know stuff, right? But not in some classroom, you know what I mean?
right.
You never, like, get any
So
experience.
that's like a really nice thing about trade schools in the
Mm,
U.S. Now you could go to a trade school when you're like a freshman in high school, or you could go to a trade school when you've graduated, and you could get the same degree that these people are spending 4 years and ending up in so much college debt for, and you could get it in
yeah.
2 years, get more hands-on experience, and get the same degree
Mm-hmm.
in half the time. And same for these people, like they some of these trade schools are doing stuff for doctors too. Like
Ooh.
you could go on and you could be in a surgery room. I know, I remember somebody from a trade school, coming over and talking about it when I was still in high school. Their daughter ended up going to college to be a surgeon or something, and then the expenses started getting way too high, and
Right.
so she ended up dropping out. She ended up going to a trade school for 2 years, and the second week she was at that trade school, she was in a surgery room with a surgeon while he's performing surgery, learning from him as, like, a student,
Yeah, you're
and
always
these
going to learn
people who
way
are
better as well.
pursuing yeah, and there are these people who are pursuing the surgeon degree in college will never, ever, ever stop foot in that surgery room
Mm-hmm.
until probably their senior year, if that,
Yeah. And
and,
also,
like, I Yep,
one thing as well is it's cool, right, to have that education, of course, but the thing is with like uni and college, right, it doesn't give you experience. When you get out of there, you might just end up in Walmart. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, and,
And do you really
these
want
people
that with that extremely high college debt?
Right. I 100% agree, and there are a lot of people who are unfortunately, who end up not doing anything with their degree that they end up getting from college, and I'm not sure
Mm,
why that is. I think in the United States it's like 70% or something or more, maybe like
yeah.
78% of people who don't use their college degree after
Hmm.
they graduate college, and it's now they're in debt. They are 22 years old,
Yeah.
have no more money, and here they are, like you said, now they're finding themselves at Walmart with this degree, but they can't get a job and they don't have the finances to
Mm,
get anywhere with it. So there's a lot more. Now, I'm not saying that like that people shouldn't go to college. Like there's I'm sure there's many opportunities for people to go to college. Obviously, that
Yeah.
wasn't a route I was gonna take, but there if you do it right, man, and like I said, if you got the passion for whatever you're going to college for and you're smart, go for it. But if you are not confident in yourself to go to college, maybe look at different options. Maybe, okay,
Mm,
where's the money at? Where are the trades at? What would what interests me? Is there something other than college? Is there a community college I could go to for only 2 years and, get this degree? Is there
yeah.
openings? Is there internships? Look for other things than just what these teachers in your schools tell you to do, because I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, those teachers who are telling you how to play your life out are making just 30 grand a year. And they're
Mm,
still trying to figure their life out because they're not gonna get you rich, dude. You're gonna get yourself rich.
yeah.
And, same for these college professors, dude. These guys aren't making nothing, and they're telling you how to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let people who are not successful influence you. Because at the end of the day, you're just gonna end up in the same boat they are, and I guarantee you they are not gonna be the happiest people.
Yeah, of course. When someone gives you advice, you should always remember, like, look at them first, right? Are they living happily, right? It's like, what's it called, right? Someone, right, tries to give you gym advice, right, when they don't go to the gym. You're not going to
Right.
take it, obviously.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I do think the sad truth, right, is that most people just pick the universities and colleges, right, only because they're forced into it by their parents.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it's a sad
And
reality
then
where they pick
yeah.
options that don't even apply to the job, like they pick psychology or something, right? How you're not even going to become a psychologist. Let's be honest, right? You
Yeah,
like the
and a lot of
subject, but you don't
yeah.
actually want to become one.
And a lot of people I know, are
I mean, there are
not,
exceptions, but still.
yeah, there are a lot of people who are, not people who will be able to, pursue something in psychology and who so you have a psychologist, right? Now,
Right.
I know people personally who are not emotionally stable people who are going to be giving these people life advice. Now,
Yeah.
you get somebody with depression who is a psychologist, and then you come in there because your sister died or
Mm.
something, and you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
this help on life. You have somebody who
Mm-hmm.
already has a naturally negative outlook on things, who suffer from
Yeah.
depression themselves. They're not going to be able to steer you in the best direction as somebody who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have depression, and
Of
there
course.
there are things that are going to influence what people tell you, and they're
Yeah.
I just don't think people understand of how who they are taking advice from.
Mm-hmm. I think therapy's great, right? But to
Mhm.
a certain extent. I do
Right.
think, because I've done therapy, I think a lot of people have,
Yeah.
right? But you shouldn't
Same.
rely on it, to be honest,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people say, "Oh, it doesn't work right." Well, it works to a certain extent, right? Then you have to be the one who saves yourself. You're depressed, right?
Right.
You have to get out of that. That's what I believe, right? I believe, right, that a lot of people, right, don't actually try to help themselves. They
Right.
just sit there saying, "Oh my god, I'm just depressed. I hate this. I hate that." Well, do something about it. You
Yeah.
can't. If you're gonna do nothing about it, right? What's it called? No wonder why you're depressed. You
Right.
know?
And there are a lot of people who will sit there and bitch about, like you said, being
Mm-hmm.
depressed and the environment they're in, and they, like you said, they will not do a thing about it. And
Just
unfortunately,
attention seeking.
my brother's a little bit in that kind of situation where his girlfriend isn't she suffers from depression, anxiety, and all this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of starting to rub off on him a little bit where he's starting to feel out, and but he is so distracted by the person that he lives with and
Yeah.
is in love with or whatever, and is not realizing of who it's making him turn into. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and I've been gone a total of 7 months in the last 2 years between the whole army stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell us about that.
and
How
yeah.
did you get into the army? When did you join?
Ooh. So I actually joined when I was a junior in high school. I went to basic
Mm-hmm.
training between my junior and senior year, so between
Yeah.
grade 11 and grade 12, as a split op. So
Wait, so
my
junior, when's
parents,
that? What age is that?
I was 17.
Right.
So parents actually signed off for me to be able to go to basic training and
Mhm.
or boot camp. Uh, and then whenever I graduated high school, I was able to
Yeah.
go to my job training for which I'm a water treatment specialist.
Gotcha.
So like we purify water, and like if we're ever in like
Mhm.
Iraq or Afghanistan or something like that, we will be the ones purifying water not only for the soldiers or the
That's very
Marines,
respectable.
sailors, and but we'd be cleaning the water for the civilians too who
Mm.
live out there. So,
Yeah.
but there's I mean I've actually personally been in a few different news articles
Oh, cool.
myself for for like
Mm.
doing the military thing at like while I was still in school.
Yeah.
My business I was in our business journal um for what I have
Mhm.
accomplished.
Yeah.
So, but
Mhm. So
so
what
I don't
made you
know,
want to get into the army?
So I ever since I was 4,
Mhm.
I've always kind of looked up to I've always looked up to people who are in the military. I
Yeah.
remember going to like these festivals and like seeing all these like cool army trucks and stuff like that, and I was like, this is really cool. I'm very like
Mm.
down to earth, and I honestly like I love the United States. I love the people in it. Uh,
Right.
I love what the United States has accomplished.
Mhm.
And like I've always like, and I'm not like one of those people. I'm not gonna sit on the sideline for other people to
Yeah.
go fight something for me.
You're either a
And
lover or a fighter.
right, right, and I don't wanna. If I am capable of being able to do something and
Mhm.
just being able to say that I took the
Yeah.
chance and I signed the same line as all these amazing people who have passed away while
Mm.
fighting, and it feels like it brings me closer to the roots of like what America's actually about. Now,
Right.
Like the United States military is crazy diverse. My girlfriend might be coming in here, but the like military is so crazy diverse, and like it's
Yeah.
and it's really nice, seeing all these people from all these different backgrounds
Mhm.
and all these different lifestyles like working
Yeah.
together. Now, like there's a big misconception of
Mm.
people who come from successful families like not having to join the military, or it's more of it's not a way out for I feel like somebody in my
Right.
scenario. It's more of just because I'm in a situation or position doesn't mean that I should not be able to
Mhm.
fight for something. So
Yeah. Of course.
ever since I was 4, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna join the army. I'm gonna join the army, and I
Mm.
unfortunately had a lot of health issues when I was a kid
Oh.
that I'm not gonna really get into.
Mhm. Of
But
course.
and I was like
Yeah.
got really discouraged from where I could
Mhm.
actually end up in my life, and then but I mean I fought through like the adversity of
Yeah.
things that I would like if I would publicly
Mhm.
talk about, just not I would get kicked, real quick. So, but I fought through all these things growing up, and I feel like it
Mhm.
made me stronger mentally as a
Yeah.
person, because I they told me I'd never play football again when I was younger, and
But
and
you did.
I kept playing football, and like I just
Mhm.
didn't let a lot of things stop me. Like I broke, I think
Yeah.
13 or 14 bones, and I kept coming back and kept coming back.
Yeah.
Like I'm very, I guess, like strong-headed with things I'm passionate about,
Mhm.
and the military is definitely something I was passionate about.
See,
I remember.
I have a strong quote I live by,
Yep.
and basically, you're not a failure. What's it called? If you lose, what's it called? You're a failure, right? If you run out of things to lose, and what you're doing is you keep going, and that's what I respect. Like
Shit, that.
no matter what, you know, you don't give up, and that's what
Yeah,
life is all
man.
about. You can't just sit round on the sidelines. Because you're never gonna get anything done. You know,
Right.
our time is precious, of course. You know, we don't have much time left.
Right. So, and I mean, honestly, like, and that's it, and
Hmm.
that's like the biggest thing about like pursuing things that you enjoy is we don't know
Yeah.
when our time is gonna like be up here, and we don't know who we are gonna impact while we're here, the things we enjoy that we're going to leave behind and the people we're going to leave behind. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but we need it to do what will make us happy while we're here. And I'm not saying like go do dumb stuff, like
Of
do things
course.
that truthfully are going to make you happy for the
Yeah.
long term, and just don't give up
Mm-hmm.
when things start getting tough, because whenever
Yeah.
you just give in and then you're sitting there in 10
Mm-hmm.
years and you're like, what would my life have been like if I would have kept pursuing this?
Mm-hmm.
Don't live with the what ifs, just do what
Yeah.
you think will get you somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And this can be
So,
applied to any field. I know this is a gaming podcast, and a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to be in the army, but you can still apply a lot of stuff, right, from this talk, right, and a lot of motivation and tips into like whatever you want to be. It doesn't matter what you want to be. The same thing applies to everything. I do believe, right, a lot of people, what's it called, won't you know try to like what's it called, take advice unless it's from some kind of like people in the same audience, like, oh, what's it called, like, oh, he's a gamer, then I'll listen to him because I'm a gamer too. And I understand the sense of relatability, but I do think sometimes people should take advice from all sorts of people, I
right.
believe.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, and honestly, like, even these big influence out here, they will never, like, it's not a guarantee that they're gonna have the best advice for who you are.
Of course,
Like,
because we don't know how quickly they blew up, right?
yeah,
Because it really does affect a person as well. A lot of people have to be fake,
yeah,
especially right to earn money as well.
yeah,
Behind closed doors, you don't know what they think. They might just be saying it,
yeah. Just
just
because
you know,
they get you to be like, oh, this person's cool, and
yeah,
but really they're like, yeah, that shit's dumb. Like,
mm,
there's definitely a level, I
yeah,
guess, of who you're actually looking in like up to now. Like, I mean, I'm not telling you guys like
hmm,
believe what I'm saying, because I'm just some fucking 19-year-old kid. But I mean, I think you guys should definitely look into who you're looking up to and take a look at who you are and what you could do to better yourself and better
yeah.
what you're doing. So,
I do think this has been an exceptional episode, and I do think a lot of people can take a lot of advice from you, especially from
yeah,
what you've
for sure.
just said, and your career so far, a business, at 17, making quite a bit of money at 19 right now. Very good, especially for someone of your age. So,
Appreciate it.
but yeah, what's it called? We're now an hour into the podcast, an hour and 3 minutes. Time flies, man. Time
Does.
flies. I was wondering about, what to say, because I was like, how am I gonna fit this into an hour and stuff, right? And then I just kept making stuff up, man.
Right, yeah. And
But yeah,
I talk a lot too, so I'm sure that
mm,
helps.
yeah. At the start, you were a little bit quiet, but then
Yeah.
you started to really start talking, man. I was like, cool. But yeah, on to the next thing, right? The three questions you have to ask me now.
Yeah, so what got you into the whole gaming stuff?
The whole gaming stuff, like what gaming as a whole, like how it
Yeah, like
started.
the whole community, like what made you like be like, I'm going to download Twitter, I'm going to, get involved with these teams, I'm going to like,
Mm-hmm.
pursue this stuff. What made you
So
want to do that?
esports.
Yep.
So esports in a sense. Um, that is a good question. I guess I just felt like the urge to I've been on a lot of teams, right? I've noticed that a lot of teams don't support their players, and I feel like a lot of players are misrepresented, and like a lot of them are treated pretty badly. And it's not easy running an esports team. I've got a lot of respect for most of the owners who run esports teams, right? But I do think, right, what's it called? A lot of esports owners will waste their players' potential and time. And that's my whole goal, right? Eventually, I'm gonna come back to esports, right, with a solid plan, okay? Because I don't, let's just say I don't play games just to play games, okay? I don't want to be what's it called, the guy who just, does it because he can. I
Right.
always have to have, a reason behind everything. Because if you don't, then you're not going to put your sole focus on it. Because if you don't know why you're doing it, then you're never going to get anywhere. You
Right.
always have to have a vision and a plan. That's what I believe
Right.
leaders should have.
Yeah, no, I believe that too, yeah.
But yeah, 2025. I will potentially be working on a new esports team, but for now, I'm currently working on Blue Skirmish, which is producing Valorant tournaments. We got
Oh,
um
okay, yeah,
we
seen
got
that.
verified as well on Challenger mode, the space where
Okay,
tournaments are hosted.
that's cool.
Mm-hmm. We've been
Hey,
trying
good
since October, so it's quite a big
good
W.
stuff. Yeah, awesome, good stuff.
But yeah, and yeah, I just I really enjoy the community aspect, and helping people, I guess, because what's it called? My um daytime job, it's I work in IT, so
Okay.
I fix people's printers, their desktops, their tablets, and the reason why what's it called? I didn't originally, think, what's it called? I'm doing this to help people. Because I do think a lot of people who do this, who do stuff right to help people, right, normally are lying because or they're just trying to make themselves look good.
Yeah.
Um, but basically, like, it's always good to have, a passion for something, right? But then,
Mhm.
the desire to help people normally comes later as well. You know when you want to help people, right? When you actually help people,
When you actually do it, yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
And it's the same thing for esports, right? Because I was a content creator for quite a while. I joined a bunch of teams, and I saw that it's called these teams, right, weren't prioritizing their own content creators, right?
Right.
And that's what I've tried to fill with Oasis and Bandits. Bandits didn't go the way I wanted to, right? But I never felt like I had, the power, to change things in Bandits, right? I always thought, like, I was running someone else's team, and it's no shade to them, right? It's just, the team's not for me.
Right. Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah,
What what made you want to get into IT stuff?
IT. Um, well, at first, of course, I've always enjoyed gaming, of course, so that goes hand in hand.
Right.
I think most people who enjoy the PC aspect are gamers or streamers. But nowadays, I barely play games, to be honest. I don't really have much time because I'm
Right.
working 6 days a week. Um, the thing is, right, what's it called? I like fixing stuff. And what's it called? It's quite enjoyable when you can fix something right.
That's
How,
fair.
how you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, 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 like being able to put something back together. That's yeah. Got
Mm.
you. Uh,
And
so
you
what?
know that
What?
you've actually
Oh,
helped someone as well. And
yeah,
they're
like
happy about it.
right. What? So what made like? Did you ever play any games competitively?
Um, I tried to, but the thing is, competitive really isn't for me. I'm not the
Okay.
best at gaming. I'm more of
Fair.
someone who prefers to create content. To be
Okay.
honest,
That's
more of a
fair.
content creator.
Yeah, I mean, we all
I
have our preferences
Yeah, I've got
for sure.
I'm more of a streamer. At least like when I joined esports teams.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay.
before
That's
I
fair.
was super phase, I was known as J phase. My
Okay.
first
Your
name
name.
J,
Yep.
but yeah.
Figured. Makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, I have played a bit of Valorant, bit of Apex Legends. I wanted to get into Valorant. I did compete in a few Valorant tournaments, and they were
Okay.
by the same guy who casts the Blue Skirmish tournaments now.
Oh, really?
And the whole story behind that, right, is because I knew the guy for 2 years already, but I decided to get him on the podcast, right. And I was like to
Right.
him after what's it called? Maybe you could work for me and we could work on something big, right? And that's how Blue Skirmish was born. Because see what I am, right, is I try to be a sponge, right? I try to learn stuff from everyone, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Like the
You never know too
podcast, right?
much.
I never knew really how to do this podcast right until someone showed me right, of course.
Okay.
And you know, a lot of the stuff is like someone comes along and says, "Oh, look, here's how to do this and that," and then
Okay.
I get the general gist of it, and I'm able to work on that for a solid few months until someone gives me some more advice. And I
Okay.
work from there, take some advice from YouTube. But from the start, for most big projects, right, I normally look for an expert in the field to teach me for first, especially when you don't know much about the
What
business.
you? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Because what's it called? Blue Skirmish. I knew nothing about casting. I knew nothing about esports tournaments. But now I know quite a decent amount. I know how what's it called the admin side. How to answer the questions. I'm not the best at casting the esports tournaments, right? I'm just not into commentating like live. It's quite a hard
Okay.
thing to do, to be honest. You have to
Yeah.
literally, you know, say what you're seeing 24/7.
Right.
But yeah, for like
Fair.
6 hours straight. But um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
Well, I believe that's really all the questions I really got for you.
Well, I appreciate it,
Pretty.
man, and I
Yeah. Yeah.
appreciate
No
you
problem, man.
having the time to come on the show.
Oh
I
yeah.
really do,
Not
man.
like I had much going on.
So where can we find you?
Uh. So on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube, and on Twitch
Yeah,
actually. Now my handle on those, for Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, my at is just Cebzey. Now on Instagram, my at is just Cebzey Cod. Just how it's
right.
spelled,
You
Cebzey.
heard it, guys. Follow him.
So, so, but
But
yeah,
yeah.
that's about it.
Also, one last question. Big
Yep.
shout outs.
What's that?
Um, drop a few names, like people who've really helped you this year.
As far as like the gaming community, or
Just like, your squad basically, like the people that, the real
to
ones.
right? Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, the biggest one is my boy Skeety. Uh, Zeeth. Zeeth's a good kid. Me and Skeety, we're actually he's gonna be coming with me to TBZ1 or Aztec
Ooh,
whenever I head. So
yeah.
Skeet's a really cool dude. He's
Mm-hmm.
actually from Canada. He's nice. We mess with each other quite a lot though. We
Right.
talk a lot of shit to each other, but he's a dog at the
Yeah.
end of the day, and he's honestly probably one of my definitely probably my closest friend
Mm-hmm.
in like the community itself. So I plan on hopefully being able to meet up with him one day. I wish he lived in the U.S. I'd just be able to go down there, but I don't have a passport or anything. So it'd definitely be really cool to meet up with him one day. He's a really cool kid.
Yeah.
Zeeth, I mean, Zeeth. I've known Zeeth
Mm-hmm.
for 4 years actually.
Oh,
Or
damn.
not more than 4 years. Shit. 7.
Do
Sorry,
you know him
yeah,
in real
since I was
life?
12. No, I've just been playing COD
Oh,
or for and COD with him since I was 12.
OG. This guy is
Yeah.
OG, man.
So me and Zeeth have had definitely a lot of ups and downs. As we were growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
um, we kind of started getting more mature and stuff like that.
Right.
Zeeth's definitely a cool kid too. We
Mm-hmm.
said and somebody's
He the
we've
same
always
age
stuck
as you?
around and we've known each other. Yeah, he's 19.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah, he's a cool kid too.
Yeah.
But
It's nice to
but
see,
honestly, that's
what's
a
it called? It was nice to recruit, two more, two older Fortnite players compared to, the demographic of
right.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Because I do think
Yeah, and
Fortnite,
I
as a game is, it's quite got a very young,
right.
player base.
As
And I don't
that's
really
fair.
think
Yeah.
most orgs, should recruit people under 16.
Right. And that's I mean, I was pretty good at Fort. Actually, I was thinking about going back to it a little while ago whenever because I just got
Mm-hmm.
fiber optic internet. So,
Ooh,
but I really
I'm
I've
jealous.
definitely found my peace with COD, and
Yeah.
I really enjoy it in the community, and
Mm-hmm.
think I could pursue that better than I can Fort. So I'm sticking
Yeah,
with
yeah.
COD, and I'm gonna push it through and see where it takes me. So, and honestly, at the end of the day, whether COD don't take me anywhere, I know that I could still play the game on a competitive level. I don't have to be a pro at it, but I could still like do something that I enjoy. And that's the
Of
biggest
course.
thing to me is I want to do something that makes me happy, and COD does. And
Yeah.
it's a little
I do think it's
frustrating
important to,
sometimes, but
be happy, of course, in
right,
life.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But I do actually have to be heading out of here, so
Mm-hmm. And so does the podcast.
you're
And
right.
that, is going to be a wrap for the episode. That was our amazing guest, Cebzey. Any last words?
Nope. I'll catch you guys later, man. I appreciate you guys all for if you guys actually did end up watching all of this through, I know it's a pretty long podcast, so
Mm-hmm. An hour and
I,
15 minutes.
yeah,
Crazy.
I appreciate you guys all. Y'all definitely.
Yeah.
And don't forget, man, support my boy Face. He's a cool dude.
Thanks, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no
it.
problem.
And yeah, that was our amazing guest, Cebzey. And that was me, your host, Superphase, host of a podcast. We'll be back next month, hopefully with another new guest. I have no idea who's going to be. I think it's Barney. It might be Dutch Boycast, okay? Depends who gets there first, okay? It's always a race, okay? There's places, you know, they're getting filled, man, okay? What's the cause? And we're almost 10 episodes in, right? And the 11th episode, of course, everyone knows 10 episodes, right, is a season. So season 2 will start then. Because it's 10 episodes a season. So season 1, season 2, you know, yeah. Be on the lookout for that. New, fantastic guest as well, coming soon. Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Cebzey.
Yeah, no problem,
We'll
man.
see
I
you
appreciate you having me.
on the next episode.